Hi, this is John with The Evolving World. Today I'm doing a video on relocating the factory aftermarket TomTom GPS system that comes on a Fiat 500e. This is any model that's pre-2016. 2016, of course, they added it right in the dash, which is what they should have did all along. But all of us earlier owners of these cars have to put up with this absolute horrible design of a GPS. It's absolutely just the worst place you could possibly put this thing. I mean, it does have its own power supply, which is, I guess, okay. But other than that, it's just a complete aftermarket, just generic TomTom, which is nothing wrong with the TomTom itself. I mean, that's fine. I like that. I just don't like the location. It's just right in your line of sight. So I find myself when I'm driving down the road, it's like it's always right where I want to look. So I'm always either looking like this. I'm having to bob and weave my head around here. It's like, man, I can't see anything. It's like it's right in my face. It's like crazy. And if you sit closer, it's even more in your face. So it's just like you're always looking, trying to look around this stupid thing. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So, and you can also see how far forward it is too. It's just way out front. So when you're driving, the hands on the wheel, which I adjust my seat for the proper position with my hands on the wheel, but that doesn't leave me much room to reach out any further. So it's like I can't even, so I have to like reach way forward here. Even when I'm at a light or whatever, I have to reach way forward here, and then so I can actually, you know, I'm like way up against my head is practically touching the steering wheel now to get up here, and so I can actually see this and touch it. So it's just horrible. So what we're going to do, like I said, I like the unit itself. I like the fact that we got power supply. So I think what we can do is simply modify this bracket and just modify it heavily, maintain the power supply, take the unit itself, and then try to relocate it down over here somewhere, someplace where I could actually reach it, just behind the steering wheel, maybe right about here or so, you know, somewhere in this position here. So that way it's not blocking like it does. Move it down here, and then I think we have something respectable and decent and useful. So yeah, that's the basic plan. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's the unit off the car. I'm going to try to preserve it as much as possible. So I think what I'm going to do is I want to keep this section here that mounts to the dash, and then I want to keep this piece right here that mounts to the GPS unit. Keep that piece and that piece intact. And what we're going to do is remove this plastic arm piece right here. So cut it right here and cut it right here. Take that out and then fabricate a new arm. And I think that should work. So I was using a hacksaw and a jigsaw with the footplate removed to cut off this arm piece here. And I found out something now that I've already done it, is that there's actually an outer plate here. So this is actually an outer cover. You could probably just use a flathead screwdriver to just take off this outer cover first, and you don't have to cut it. Just that would be one half, and this would be the other half. Cut that off because underneath of it there's still another arm that's actually holding the whole thing together. So that's what we got right here. You can see here I cut one of my wires. I went a little too deep here. This is where the wires are located in the back here. But I think you could avoid this mistake here just by removing this outer cover first. That would definitely be better. So we're still going to have to cut this off here, but it looks like we also have access. It looks like this thing actually comes apart. We got screws and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and take those screws out and see how much we can take this thing apart. So if you make the mistake of cutting the wire accidentally, all is not lost. You can actually get in here, and I took off this little plate right here, some screws, and so you can get in here and get to those wires now. So I'll be able to fix this by mending wires in here. But ideally, the best thing to do is to just take that outer plate off using just a screwdriver, and that way your wires will be intact. And then you're still going to have to cut them, but at least you'll be able to cut them here in the center as opposed to the end. It'll make it much easier to mend them back together. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this one right here in the middle. And that will leave plenty of room for me to mend it back together. Alright, we're making progress now. So the hacksaw works really well. You can just hacksaw right through this thing, very easy. And what I did is I cut it a couple places. I left a little bit of return on here so we have a mounting place. And so now this is basically how it was, looking at it from the side. So now that we took that piece in the middle off, now we can just take this over here and slide it on down here. And then we'll put like a nice new piece of metal across here. We can just screw into it, maybe bend it, maybe like an L shape, and then screw into that, and then that should do it. So let's go find some scrap metal around the house here. I'm sure we could find something. Okay, so I took some measurements. I figure about 5 inches or so is what I need distance-wise. 5 inches closer to me than it was before. And then I figured that I wanted it to be low, and I did some measurements, and right about the base of this, right about the bottom of the base there should line up with the top of the new position. That's approximately what I'm shooting for here. So I kind of have it placed here about what I want. So it's looking around the house. I thought, okay, maybe I'll use some of this zinc bar. I got some of this, but this is like super heavy duty, a little bit more than what I need. Then I found something. This is a electric baseboard cover plate. So when you put a thermostat on, you don't need the plate anymore. So you end up with an extra one. I got about 6 of them. So it's like, I think I'm going to go ahead and just use that because I got it marked right here where I'm going to cut it. Just use some metal snips there, and it's just about the right length I need. So I think if I cut it in half, I think I'll have myself a nice little piece of metal. It's already white, so it might look kind of good. So let's do that. Using some metal snips and a metal brake, I was able to take that little piece of steel and bend it to the custom shape that I wanted. So I got everything kind of lined up here. I got this lined up with the top of that. Cut this little piece right here. Got about the right distance. So yeah, I think that's it right there. Okay, so here's my finished unit right here. I soldered these wires inside that inside the base here, and then I put it back together like 3 screws, and then I put a couple little screws right here. Soldered these wires right here. Also, it's good to always have like a kit like this of just miscellaneous screws. So that's where I got these screws from. It's always nice to have an assortment or something like that. It's very helpful. So that's what I used for these. Just tighten it down, put a little drop of Loctite on there, kind of got it secure. And yeah. And I got this sheet metal screws up here, drilled a pilot hole into the plastic and then through the metal. And that kind of secured it down there. So we have a nice solid unit right now. Should be all ready for installation. And we'll be able to customize it a little bit too, because this piece right here, of course, you know, comes loose. So we still have the ability for that to actually, you know, to actually be a fine-tune the adjustment a little bit. And also, I removed these things because you really don't need the clamps. I found that this thing is spring-loaded right here, as you can see, for the electrical connector. So actually when you put it in there, it just goes in there nice and soft. It stays in there nice and secure. It's not going to come popping out or anything. So there's really no reason to have these stupid little clamp things. So we nixed those as well. So yeah, I need quite a bit of tools. This is some of the stuff you need here. You also need a solder iron. And yeah, I think let's go ahead and try this guy out. Okay, here it is installed. I have to say, it looks gorgeous. Check it out. It's like no blockage of the windshield. You can see fully out. This is pretty much my eye height right here. So this is how I see things from driving position. And there's just a little bit of cut off here, but nothing really. You can tilt your head slightly and you can see just fine. And one of the nicest things too is that if you look here, you see my hands could be on the steering wheel and you could still punch the button without taking your hands off the wheel. Is that badass or what? This is what it looks like right here. I think I could probably fine tune it a little bit, but got some wires exposed here. I could probably tidy that up or something with some wiring loom or something. But that's it. That's pretty much exactly what I wanted to accomplish. I want to be able to touch the thing with my hands on the wheel. Now it does have a little bit of flex though, you might notice as I'm punching it here. That's hilarious. It's got a little bit of flex. I gotta do something about that, but I think other than that, it's pretty cool. I really like it. I'll try it out and see if that flex just gets like too wild. Because I mean, that's, you know, I mean, that's hitting it pretty hard there, but it's kind of funny. But generally, if nothing else, I mean, I might be able to support it. You can see here, right here, how it's resting on the thing there. It's just the metal itself is so thin that it's just flexing. But you can fully adjust this thing. So I already adjusted it, and you can actually still adjust it and, you know, and change the position a bit. But you can't do anything about the flex. I mean, I might be able to support this with some, I think I could probably add some other metal support. If I put something across here, like another bar, and then screw something in here, maybe here and here, just put another little bar right here, I might be able to just firm that up real nicely. Especially once I get it exactly the way I want it, which I think I got it. I mean, it's pretty much looking perfect. I mean, I don't think I could do much to it to make any adjustments. So I think I'll play around with it a little bit, just see how it goes, and then maybe make some fine tuning. But it's basically exactly what I wanted. And this all comes out as a unit, of course. So, and this just slides right out. So yeah, there it is. Hope you found this video useful. Please like and subscribe if you did. Many more videos to come. Thanks for watching.